record these. So, everybody, welcome to the showcase session of mind shifting, resilient mindsets for long-term success. I know this is my favorite session. I think it's Tammy's, I think it's Jane's, and I think it's Kevin's, because you basically are going to be showing us how how to present this information for to kids or to others, and the way you reinterpret what we say and improve on it is just it's really heartwarming. And everybody who presents tonight, you're going to get a video that you can use if you want to, of your presentation that you can show to people in your school or whoever you want to see. So that's kind of the bonus for volunteering. And not that I want to put pressure on anybody, but I see in the chat that Kylie must have has done a great reference poster that's already been used. And so I was wondering, Kylie, if you would mind being the first one to present based on that. So if you don't, you can unmute and say no. But it would, would you mind? Or you were here. I saw you, but I'm not seeing you now. All right. So maybe we'll have to come back. Oh yeah, you are here. S- So if Kylie can't unmute or if Kylie can't present, maybe who 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 will be the first person and get it out of the way? And those of you who've been here before for other classes, you know it's fun. So, Christy, yes, thank you. So-
All right. Yes. Sorry. I had my hand
okay,
raised and then I'm not here. But
right,
yes, I need to find what I created first. And I know
okay.
someone wanted access to it, but my
That was
district
me,
is, oh, it was
probably,
you? Okay. I tried to make it public after I created it.
right?
And I'm not sure if you could access it after that. And I was going to say my district is very,
Right.
I
I
guess,
do not have
locked
access to it.
down. So
Right.
yeah, you'll probably only be able to see it from me sharing it. So.
Okay. So if there's a way that you can export it to like a PDF and send the PDF to me.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be able
Ah,
to
okay.
do that. I just have to find where
So you're
is
row 43.
the Excel
Oh,
spreadsheet?
you know something? I
I'm
probably
sorry.
have the Excel spreadsheet. I can let me put it into the I'll
Because
put it
I'm on
into the chat.
K-12 leaders, but I can't find
No,
it
it's
like
it's
right on
not
the
it's
spot.
well, so I just put it into I put the link into the chat.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's see. And you said I'm 43,
Well, I think I had the wrong
wrong,
Christie
Christy?
there. Yes, you're actually row 10.
Row 10.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think I
And
can.
actually I was able to load that.
Oh, you were? Good. All
Well,
right,
I I
perfect.
I, I have something, but it's only one page. So
Okay.
maybe it's wrong.
So maybe that is what I created. So, do you want me to share? Because
Yes.
it says
Oh,
disabled
yes.
share, host disabled, attendee
Right.
screen
So
sharing.
let me um there's something I know. Uh
Well, sorry for taking
Here
all this.
settings. No, no, this is my fault because I should have just allowed everybody to share. Well, you know something, I'll just for right now, I'll make you a co-host.
Perfect. Okay. I think I can share now. All right. So, where was I? I created I used Notebook LM. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Notebook LM.
Yes, I am. So,
Okay, so I just loaded like every single document that you had given us for this class, and I put it in this. Huh. I guess that is not working right there, so let me log into it myself. Okay, so here it is. This is what it should have been for you guys, as long as you can see my screen.
Yep.
And over here on the side, like I created every single thing that it would allow me to create using all of the 10 sources that I found.
Hmm.
So it'll let you create like an AI generated podcast, and you
Hmm.
can literally make it a deep dive, brief, critiquing, or debating. So, like, I did that. And you might hear my dogs barking in the background. Sorry. I was trying to find that one, but I can't quite find it right on the spot. But I made like a video, I made reports, I did a quiz, data tables, slide decks, mind mapping, flashcards, infographics. These are all the resources that you can use over here.
Hmm.
And you can add more resources to it yourself. And this is like the basic gist of everything that was entered. And this is also like an AI chat. So if you want to like help understanding the OODA loop, I probably spelled that wrong, but it's scanning the text to try to help me understand the OODA loop a little better. So I thought this was a really nice way to
To
bring
have a
everything
reference.
together. Yes.
Right.
So I just made this because it was quick, it was easy, and I wanted to use Notebook LM.
So did you make a slide deck? Is there a slide deck that,
Yeah, let me go back to it. Where is it? Um, the slide deck. Yes, I just have to find which one this is. If you, what is the slide deck? Okay, so it'd be this one right here. Let me minimize this again. So right here, this is based on the 10 slides. I don't expand the viewer. Okay, there we go. So you can create this. It says the adaptive educator, and it created it for me. Like I did not do anything specific except tell it what I wanted it to do for me.
hmm.
So it just goes through everything from the class.
Wow, that's great.
So yeah, there's that. And if I go to, sorry, my dogs, like this is the podcast.
Hmm. I don't know if you shared sound
Well,
when you went
I
to share it.
probably, I don't
By
know how to,
default, it's usually off.
okay,
If
I
you
don't know
if
how to share the
so if you
sound.
unshare and then share
Okay,
again, you'll
okay,
see there should be a check mark over on the right.
okay. All right. Share, check mark, also share the sound. Okay.
It is it's this universally frustrating experience, yeah, right? You spend hours or maybe even like days mapping out the absolute perfect plan.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
got your timelines color coded, you've anticipated all the little variables, and I mean, on paper, it is just a masterpiece of modern logic.
It is deeply comforting to look at a plan like that, to be honest.
Huh.
We stare at the spreadsheet or the calendar and we feel this, well, this fleeting sense of total control over our environment.
Right up until you actually try to execute it.
Yeah, exactly.
You launch the project or you step into the boardroom or
Yeah, it sets the scenario pretty cool. So, and you're muted, Christy. Yeah, so this should be a good research. You're still muted. Maybe stop the share.
There we go. It's
Okay, good.
working now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, all of those are just wonderful resources that you could use or create or add to, and you can add your own stuff to it as well. So,
Hmm.
for some reason, it's not allowing me to share it completely. And if I, sorry, I'm not normally on the spot sharing stuff. So that's why it's taken me a little. You guys will all do way better than I did with this. So when I go to this to share it right here on my screen, I think you can see my screen. It
Right.
literally says, let me minimize that. It says, like, I tried to type in the name of the person, probably you that wanted access, and then it just wouldn't let me share it. So then I changed it to public.
Hmm.
So I clicked on the link that you had put into the spreadsheet here, and
Right.
it didn't work either. So I don't know how
Right.
to share it in a better
Uh,
way.
But it's something that you can use anyhow.
Yes,
Okay,
I can
so
definitely
that
use it.
that'll give you a good reference. Yeah, that's a cool way of pulling together all the information so you can use it for slide decks. You could ask it to create a lesson plan based on that information.
Yep, you could do
Um,
anything with it.
if you needed to explain something to a student or a teacher, you could say, "Oh, so and so is running into this. How would we apply, I don't know, OODA loops or
Yeah, it's
anti-fragility to this
yeah,
situation?"
and it's basically like you could teach it as well, and this would be like a study guide or a review, or like an AI tutor or of sorts if
Hmm.
you needed it as well.
So
So
really creative. Yeah, good. Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, it'd be cool to be able to access it, but even without me accessing it, it should be a great resource for you.
Yeah, I'll see if there's any way I can get it shared. I'll ask AI if it knows how to,
Right.
and if so, I'll do that.
That's what I tried today.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I will go next
Okay, good.
if you don't
And
mind.
no, that would be great. And is that
Okay.
Barbara?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
And and then I didn't so let me make you also a co-host.
okay.
Okay, so you are a co-host.
So if I don't know, it's denying me when if I go to share, is that what it's supposed to?
Right, share, and then it should show you all the different things that you can share. Like there's screens, there's documents, so you should be able to.
Okay. I'm on a new computer, so I think that's
Okay.
what's giving me it's all the settings aren't there. Are you able to just share it and I don't have to necessarily scroll through it?
Yes, actually,
Sorry.
uh, yes, I am, and I'll just make it a little larger.
I have a copy. I have a copy of it, so
Um, okay. Can you see that? Oh, that's the wrong one. Stop share. Okay. Um, share. Uh,
sorry about that.
that's the wrong. Everything just changed because I didn't want to share this window. Um, okay. Just give me a second because I changed all the share options. And so who can share? All participants. Who can share when somebody else is sharing? So actually, try sharing now.
Okay, it's saying open system settings. It
Um,
was denying me. Normally it just goes right to share.
okay. Um, now try it
Okay, let's see.
because I got it working for me. So if it doesn't work for you, I can do it now.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
That's
not sure why.
okay. Okay. So now you should be able to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my lesson was story mapping with OODA loops. It could be used in various different ways. You could adapt it for kindergarten, which is actually I was talking to my kindergarten teacher who was happened to be doing this book this week, and so we talked about it. But it can also be, even though it's like a children's book, it can be used for older students, just because the overall message is teaching the OODA loops, and so they could apply it to their own life and their own problems. It's just a way to teach it. So a couple different things. So I don't know if people are familiar with this book, but you're able to use it by observing, looking at the information, getting the details. And then there's the story mapping, which is part of the Orient. So younger kids, obviously you would do this together as a group. Older kids maybe could work in pairs or do it on their own, with some of those guiding questions. Then, um, depending again on the age, students can act by creating their own story maps or applying the OODA loops to like new situations. So maybe they could do it for a different book, or they could rewrite it, using another character's perspective. So I have attached the OODA loops, I've attached the story map. But what's interesting about the story is that it's the bear and the hare, and the bear makes poor decisions in the story. For example, he has to choose the vegetables. They're arguing over which ones they want, and he wants the tops of the vegetables. But the vegetables that he picks the top are all like the carrots, the beets, the things that grow underground. So he's left over with the nonsense stuff, and the hare outsmarts him. And again, so what it all really comes down to it is that bear makes poor decisions. So if you scroll just a little bit, it gives some OODA loop examples having to do with the bear. So he makes a mistake, and it shows how he went through the OODA loop, but it failed because he got poor results. He did not ask the right questions. He did not make the good decision. And then it shows the better OODA loop for the bear, where he finally figures it out and he becomes successful. So the key takeaway there was that the OODA loop shows us that good decisions depend on careful observation and asking the right questions, which is something the bear didn't do. But any way you want to use it in the classroom, you can adapt it. There's some grade level adaptions at the bottom that they can use for their own life. And so I attached the little slide and the story map and a blank map after that. But it was just a cute way, I thought, to either introduce it or take it and stretch further with that information. It's a really cute book. And there was a lot of cute, a lot of nice people that have put things in there, because like I said, I went through and already copied one on problems, tricky problems, and simple problems. I've already used it. I put it right near where I sit with the kids to talk about that. And I mean, I've done that from the other classes where a lot of people have put some really good resources, but there was a really a lot this past week. Oh, Mitch, you're muted. Sorry.
I didn't want to disturb you, so I put myself on mute.
Oh,
So
sorry.
then I forgot. So how old are the kids?
Well, I teach reading K-5, but
Hmm.
I was using this with like first grade. Some of my second graders are low, so
So it's so cool because what you're doing is you're teaching the kids how to how to look at information and then how to pull from that information to analyze, synthesize, and come up with some things that they can decide, and then having them actually make decisions and then act and then observe what they've done, and then going over with them how the bear did it and I guess the rabbit did it, um, and having them discuss that, and then having them, you know, then apply it to what their own work is, and I think that you've kind of walked them through a really good scenario for making better decisions and for
I think,
analyzing a cute book, right?
yeah, and I think they relate to the characters in the book, so it's easier to start thinking about like how you could
Mhm.
apply that to some decisions you're making, and it could be just one of those things that they think about.
And great graphic,
Oh,
yeah.
that was Magic School AI created
Huh?
that one for
Okay,
me.
yeah. Well, still is a great graphic.
No, thank you.
And I mean, they never come up with a great graphic the first time. So I have to believe that you like went back and forth. It's like, no, you should do this. No, you should do that. So,
Yeah, they
so
never
you
spell it
architected it, right?
correctly.
Yeah.
The arrows were going in all different directions, and so I've for visual types of things, we don't have the highest like subscription of that
Mhm.
too for the school, so you just have to try your best to get that. And Canva
Yeah.
AI is another one. So thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for sharing. Okay.
Yep.
Uh,
I'm okay
okay.
going next.
Yeah, Jack, great. And so let me just I have to find you here. Talk again so I can see. Oh, there you are. Okay. On the
Like
there.
row 25. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So are
And
you gonna
you want me to share, or
if you can, or
I could
otherwise
try.
I can.
Sure. Let me see. Let me see how it works here. So,
Yeah, I actually can't share yours because you have to be part of your school.
gotcha. Yeah, all those different
There-
deals there. Okay. All right. It's sharing right now, or
Yep.
okay.
Oh, an
So
escape
I
room. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, Tammy's not going to like this
yeah.
because it's a game, and Celestino doesn't even believe the kids should have fun.
Yeah, that's shame on that play and fun discovery.
Don't start with me, Mitch. I've already been told where to park my car.
Yeah, so I was, being out of the classroom a little more, and I thought definitely, hey, for colleagues and whatnot too. But I thought, man, going back to the middle school, junior high level, and so I was thinking fifth grade through ninth grade within there, just as they're trying to figure out tools in their toolbox, so to speak, how to think, how to be a student, how to advocate, question. But escape rooms, you know, a, a great way of complex situations can be chaotic depending on how it is, but thought a way to for them to solve complex situations. And so, um, you know, materials parameters it may differ. I was trying to think of maybe like a week long itself in the beginning of the day, or out of research finding out where you do have a certain time limit. It's on the teacher creating what that's going to look like. I definitely think um, you could create some interdisciplinary cross curricular situations, but for them to kind of discover on loan and feel what does that look like as small groups, and breaking them into small groups in the class. The others are kind of observing and watching. Each day is going to be a little different with the escape room for the kids, but the teacher kind of creates that. As far as potential puzzles, riddles to kind of get them going, maps. The idea, I think, also is to, as a teacher, to find avenues for students' interests, uh, what they're good at, that they have something to contribute to the team, but also something that's going to stretch them. So they do have some lifelines, and that's where the rest of the class that's not participating for that day, uh, within that 15-30 minute time frame. So a 50-50, a phone a friend within the class, a teacher hint, um, to go about that. So they're trying to get the 4-digit key code to get the lock to open up the classroom. And obviously, Farco, we don't want to the idea of it. I'm thinking Mission Impossible music right away to get them going. Um, the what kind of situation? Um, again, to ask them after the experience, after the 5 days coming on back, so each group has gone through. What kind of situation was that? And to introduce simple, complicated, and complex situations. So you go through to the idea where, okay, complex. We don't know what the end result, how we're going to do it, what that answer is going to be, but we have to figure it out, trial and error, and it's going to be different potentially for the next time. What kind of situations? And so we come to that through think, pairing, and sharing. Let them individually process and talk to a partner, and then as a class. how did you feel? Asking questions, how do you feel through the process? Was there a way to go about it? What life experiences or skills play a key role in the experience? What other conditions may vary uh, depending on how it's set up each day? Um, and how did failure, I think, play a big role in the experience? What worked, what didn't, what got you a code, one of the numbers? So you'd be able to look at the loop itself and through the escape room process. Maybe the first riddle had us looking at math manipulatives was the thought process on the initial riddle. Looking at it, trying to find a certain amount of sides through those manipulatives. Maybe it's a puzzle the next time looking, oh, on the backside, there's some Sharpie written on it that has, and putting it together and it creates a number. But finding what worked or what didn't and going through the loop again. That next part, what complex situations, having them then looking as far as real life or in a movie plot. I was trying to think of, hey, maybe Guardians of the Galaxy. How are they gonna save the universe and stop? How are they gonna? Maybe it's in with a Scooby Doo movie and solve the situation. But allowing the kids to figure out to have some ownership in how to make sense of the OODA loop process in a complex situation. And then to be able to extend it depending on the time for them to create escape rooms for their fellow students there. And so to come up with that, again, I think any way where you can come up with, hey, what are you studying in content areas? If it's like blocked, being able for teachers pulling different vocabulary from science, from maybe a novel that you're reading and bringing that in. But then allows with knowing the OODA loop, okay, now we have another chance at this escape room that our own peers are creating. So the escape room
Yeah.
OODA loop.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I would imagine the teacher would have a lot of fun with this. You know, coming up with the riddles to come up with the combination, having the kids play and to a certain extent compete and collaborate with each other, and then looking at how they solved it and whether it was a simple, complicated, or complex problem to kind of understand the decision making process, and then taking that to come up with their own escape rooms to challenge each other. That you know that's pretty complete. You're using a lot of different ways that people interact. You know, seeing, hearing, collaborating, doing, um, and you know, turning a lot of these skills into things that they're getting a chance to practice. So yeah,
Yeah, I know it's a little more prep and whatnot at the front, but I definitely done well or done right as far as the fruits of it with the kids. I think could come out pretty good.
yeah. I think Kevin, you've used escape rooms with kids before, right? Also,
Yes, yes, and I love the way you have overlaid this, and it fits so beautifully. I mean, Jack, this just looks like it was built when people designed escape rooms as curriculum. So just, well, good on you because it just looks like it was always there. So really nice, really nice. I want to show this to my son who uses this escape rooms a lot,
Oh,
but
awesome.
just fits so well. Yeah, nicely
your
done.
your your, um your older son, but with Ben, right?
Yeah, not my 11-year-old, but
Right.
my, yeah.
I was wondering, like, okay, all right. So how's Gibson going to use it? But yeah, Ben could use it with his kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. And then Sarah McKnight and Natalie.
Yes,
Uh,
okay.
okay.
Would you like me to share my screen?
If you could, I'm gonna give
Yes.
you the I'm gonna make you a co-host.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Thank you. All right. Here we go. I think this will be it. Okay. All right. Hopefully everybody can see that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so just a little bit about myself and Natalie. We teach online at Washington Connections Academy. So we are online and virtual environment. So it's a little bit different than some of you. But we geared ours towards educators. Even though we could totally use this in our classrooms, I teach high school electives, and Natalie will do the next slide and talk. We do tend to solve a lot of problems as a whole staff, and we collaborate. We have a lot of like surveys over the course of the year, and giving our feedback and stuff to things that are working and not working. So this is awesome, and I'm excited to share this with our staff and our all of our teachers at our school. Okay, so I kind of did the first slide, and I said there are 4 types of problems we solve all the time, and we might not even know it, because that's what I've learned. Like, I didn't know. We have our simple problems, which usually has like one answer, and an example I gave was like, my grade's not passing equals I need to do my work in this class so I can raise my grade and pass. It seems pretty simple, right? And then we gave a little OODA loop diagram down there, just talking about like, observing what you're doing, as a staff, orienting, deciding and taking some action and stuff. So, and then we go over to the other 3 problems that, you might not even know you had, the complicated, complex, and chaotic ones. Obviously you can have more than one solution. Definitely requires some extra thinking sometimes, and analysis and feedback, as a staff and as educators in a whole. You've got to observe, orient, decide, and act to solve your problem. And the OODA loops can be fast or slow depending on the situation, I felt. And, the very last thing is, we want to solve our problem, but anti-fragility, like, it's okay to make mistakes and keep trying and never get up, because your reflection is key. So, as educators and as a staff in a virtual environment, we make mistakes sometimes, the way we set things up, the way we, think something's going to work out great for the year, and then it ends up not working out great. So we definitely are constantly reflecting and looking back to try to solve our problems. So I hope I painted a picture for everyone what it's kind of like to be online. So, yeah. Do you have any questions about that or anything you want to say?
Well, for me, it's like, students, they're they're very survival brain, right? So they go into something and they know immediately what the right answer is. And then when it doesn't work, it's like they go into the blame mode. And I think what you've done here is you've given them a mechanism like, okay, you're going to do something, and it might not work because it might be complicated, or it might not work because it may be complex, or maybe there's a chaotic situation. And so if you try something that doesn't work, that doesn't mean that you messed up. And you just gave them the whole framework for being able to do that, and not getting down on themselves, not giving up, and not blaming somebody or something. So that was, yeah, that's really, really cool.
Okay. All right, great. I will stop sharing, and then I will let Natalie take over.
So I don't know that I gave Natalie the sharing rights, because I thought you were going to. So Natalie, if you can unmute and I can find you.
Sarah, go to the next slide and I'll just chat.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Sarah, would you mind sharing the second slide?
Thank you. Okay, so basically this is a little bit of buy-in for educators to utilize these processes and steps, because not only can we use them as educators, but we can teach this to our students to help them problem solve. A lot of the things that we've been sharing in discussions and all that is issues with student engagement, or students feeling overwhelmed or shutting down. And there really is a student mental health crisis in our country. So I put a little article in here, just kind of backing up that our students need these resources to help, these problem solving skills to help create supportive classrooms, and are being taught these. And then teaching these problem solving skills directly protects the students' mental health, because it reduces them from feeling overwhelmed, it increases their control, leads to better outcomes. we would hope. So it would give them that sense of control, reduce anxiety, some emotional regulation there to understand that what the reaction or prevention outcomes could be, to prevent that feeling of being overwhelmed, give them some cognitive flexibility so they don't get stuck in one negative thought. Our students tend to turn simple problems into complex or chaotic problems even, and realizing that it doesn't need to be. And then also hopefully reducing avoidance and shutdown. So avoiding just causes more stress later, but if you know how to do your OODA loops and take the correct actions, you might have some reduce stress over time is the hope. So we're hoping to implement this into the classrooms and teaching for our students so that they have the skills to problem solve and hopefully reduce some of that mental load that they're creating with not being able to know how to process some of these problems.
Yeah, I think for me, one of the things that you've done is that we did not properly do was to link how learning these skills as students helps them learn emotional regulation. Because when they are getting upset at problems and they don't know what to do, of course that contributes to their stress. And I didn't look at your article, but I actually just interviewed two people last week that pointed out like 50% of all high school students feel they're stressed out enough that it's affecting their ability to function, which is amazing. And they just and understanding a mechanism for when things don't go right, how do you take the next step? Dramatically decreases that stress because it's like, oh, maybe I'm not so stupid. Maybe I just need to observe and orient again. And so pointing that out and showing other educators that that's the case, I think is you're doing a wonderful service. That's that's a really
We're
good
getting
slide.
to that time of year where there's a lot of students shutting down and feeling overwhelmed, and we're trying to get them across the finish line and not make bigger problems than need be. So thank you.
No, thank you. I don't know, Tammy, your thoughts? Are you there? Or and I guess Heather, you volunteered to go next, right? And so let me just, can I just right here give you make co-host? Okay. So if do you want to share?
Yep, I'm gonna try to get it right now. Oh, it says open system setting.
Oh,
Chrome.
you
I
shouldn't
got it.
have to. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, I was switching from like my personal to my work, so my personal,
Ah, okay.
so I didn't have that problem. Do you see it? Do you see?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. All right. So I did a little bit different. I have kids. I am in an inner city environment where a lot of my kids are lacking vocabulary, some coping skills. So this was kind of to be able to even go through the OODA loop, and this kind of like a tool set for like that growth mindset towards problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I just found a couple articles. One was through Stanford, and I just popped them in here. And then also different ways for positive classroom culture, because without really having that culture, like I feel like that kids are not going to be able to be flexible in their thought process. And so it's like just a lot of that instilling and modeling and providing the opportunities for children so they can become those flexible adults who can problem solve. And I feel like these articles were some of the best ones that I found.
Mm.
So I just popped them up here that anybody can use. Um, and then, as I mentioned in class, that we do use Jocko Willing's Good video. We've watched it, and they love like to recalibrate, re-engage, and then get back onto their path. And it's really fun when my kids, like at this point, because in the beginning of the year, when they would get frustrated, things would fly. And now that they have their tools, and to watch them become uncomfortable and very frustrated, but they don't give up, and to
Mm.
watch like take a breath and then move forward, try it again, rethink the way that they were thinking. And it's wild because they're 5. And I love the fact that these were 5-year-olds that didn't want to push themselves at all. And now they really
Hmm.
are. And I was just like I was doing this math problem in addition and subtraction, man, that could be tricky sometimes. And there's one little girl, and she was getting so frustrated. She had tears in her eyes, and I watched her breathe, and I watched her like really
Wow.
figure it out. And I'm like watching the wheels turn. So of course I tear up because I'm like, yes, everything that we did. And I'm like, do you need to take a break? And she's like, nope, I'm going to keep doing it. And to be able to have like the feedback and be willing to accept that feedback to change, and then for her to change, like to watch her go from this is how you do it, this is how I'm doing it, to like, oh no, this isn't how I'm doing it, this how I'm gonna, and just on the fly to watch her was fabulous. And I told her that I talked about her in class, and she got even more excited. So that, like, to have that environment, I think is important. And to give them like, hey, grown-ups do it, this is what we need to do, like we all get frustrated and you got to get back on. I also put the link to any, not that I'm promoting for Jocko, but
Mm.
the extreme ownership book too, which is great.
Oh, good. Hmm.
Then sorry, sorry,
One of
sorry, sorry.
my,
Oh, I don't
you
want that.
want it?
Sorry. I was trying to hit the next slide. Um, and then of course we do feel frustrated at times. So these are some of our go-to calming techniques to refocus and to kind of re-energize. And then so we can really, because sometimes we just shut down and we need to take a breath, and then where we can approach our situations differently, and then adjust and really adapt when we're calmer. So I have like a guided square breathing, and then there's the bubble bounce. The body scanner is huge, and we do meditative yoga every day, so that's
Hmm.
really helping them. So there's that. Oops. Oh, it's going to do it again. Sorry, I'm trying to flip this slide. Oh, it's going to make me go through everyone.
Right. Of course.
Apologize on everyone. All right, let's see if I can get to slide 5. There we go. So this is a book that we just ordered. There's a series of them, and it's What Should Danny Do? And this book I thought was like perfect for this at this level. Is that like, so Danny has a choice in the book. It's like choose your own adventure kind of thing. So it's like, if Danny does this, this is what's going to happen. If Danny does this, how are we going to readjust to that? What
Hmm.
are we going to think? What are our expectations? And it's just really, I thought, great. So I put the little link in there. And I did the whole like growing and helping them grow into great little adults. And then I have our little sprouts at the very end with these
Mm.
tools. Hopefully, they can face their problems and challenges and work together. And
Wow.
that's it.
Wow. So you've given an awful lot of tools for kids to be able to reset. Um, and um, and I love the story of the 5-year-old girl who
It was the
just
best. It was the
yeah.
best.
That's what it's all about, right? Is seeing kids because because struggle is it is part of life, but it doesn't have to be debilitating. And to have some struggle and to watch them like, oh, something, but I can do this is
And I
and you
watched
less
her,
yeah.
and I was like, "Do you need a break?" Because we have like dry erase boards that they write their information on, then hold it up so I can
Hmm.
see who got it, how quickly they got it. Then you can fix those errors really quickly. And she was struggling, but she didn't give up. And I saw that face, and it makes it all worth it, you
Yeah.
know.
And then the videos that you have to allow them to reset. And I'm going to take a look at that. What does Danny do? I hadn't heard about that book.
Yeah, I just got our principal to get
Yeah.
it for our whole team because it sounds like fabulous, the whole box set.
Hmm.
So
So, and Kevin, you unmuted, right?
Yeah, I just really love the immediacy of those strategies. And at that level, it's crucial, I think, that it be something operable that they can just do. Not a whole lot of deep psychological reflection, but what can you, almost like teaching a little kid how to swim. There are techniques, and you do the technique, and then you can dog paddle. And so, just fun to watch how you applied this according to who you teach and how you teach. Well done. Just well done, Heather.
Thank you.
And then in the chat, Cindy just brought up there's also what should Darla do? So I guess that sounds like another series. So I'll, I'm going to take a look at both because I have a lot of great nieces and nephews, and my favorite thing to get for them is books. So so yeah, great work. Thank you. And then Alondra Davis, you're up, and I have to make you ability to share here. So there you go. You can share.
Okay. So I'm in the bathroom hiding from my kids.
Mm.
Do this. So I was like, I'll go next before, you know,
Before they
crazy.
find you, right?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear them screaming out there. So, okay.
That's okay. I'm in my office hiding from my wife, so that's all right.
Oh, it's telling me, hold on.
Mitch, she knows you're in there.
I
Just
know she
saying.
does know I'm in there, right? And it's our anniversary, so
Happy
oh,
anniversary.
Would you be able to share for me? It's making me go through like the settings and
really?
privacy thing.
You were
Weird.
like, okay, let me just see. Yes, I can. I believe. Okay, I have to make it larger, but at least I can share. Um,
Okay. So I work at a middle school, so I decided to do a poster, something different than the first time I did the mind shifting series. And so for this one, I wanted to talk about the OODA loop, and I wanted to word it in ways that middle schoolers would understand. So I did have some help from ChatGPT and trying to put it together. Um, but so the OODA loop, I pretty much talked to them about observe, orient, decide, and act.
mhm.
So on this flyer, for observe, like, what's the vibe right now? Watching body language and tone. I'm collecting the facts like a scientist. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I finally figured it out. Okay.
And and so then for the orient, how does this relate to what I know? Check your feelings, like are you mad or sad? Think about why is this happening and filter out that noise so you can focus more on what are the facts. And then decide. So brainstorm 2 to 3 possible ideas. Choose one to test out. Make a hypothesis. If I do this, then and then just remember that things aren't always perfect. And then carry it out. So, I think a big one is having the courage to actually act on it. I think that middle schoolers kind of tend to sometimes struggle with that. They expect others to go first. Um, and so I added towards the bottom, like an example, like the cold shoulder. So the situation is your best friend walks past you at lockers, and then let me see, without saying, oh, it cut out. Okay. It was supposed to say, I guess I didn't put it in there. So without saying anything. So the first things is like observe you observe your friend's eyes are red. Other friends are quiet. It's a Monday morning before a big test. So you remember, oh, their dog was sick. You feel hurt, but realize they might be stressed, but not mad. And I have these backwards. You decide not to be mean back. Instead, you send them a test text and ask them if they're okay. And so that would be what you act on is, hey, you okay? Good luck on your test. And then the reply would pretty much tell you what you should probably do next. And then I went ahead and I added like a little counselor tip on the bottom. It's like if you get stuck or discouraged, use the OODA loop to iterate. Every time you loop, you aren't just trying, you're learning. And so it's just a small poster, but I was doing this really quick too, so that I
No,
missed some stuff.
this is a cool poster. And that's, the that statement on the bottom, like Every time you loop, you aren't just trying, you're learning. I love that.
Yeah. I like to, whenever I do posters, I like to add like a little tip, usually towards the bottom for kids.
Hmm.
But I think this is something that I would like to teach students more about, like actually have classroom presentation on what OODA loop is and give different scenarios that I see as a counselor, because a lot of the times they go to the counselor when they're having conflicts with others or any, problems of not knowing how to handle them. And so I think, what I would like to do is probably go into the classrooms and teach the OODA loop or teach it to staff members so they can teach it and then have these posters around to follow up and just reminders. And maybe I was thinking like different posters with different scenarios just kind of around the school, typical ones that I hear for sixth grade. And then in the seventh grade hallway, typical situations that I hear for seventh graders and then
Hmm.
eighth grade. But
And
yeah.
this, your friend walks past you at lockers without saying anything. Is such a classic sixth, seventh grade getting
Yeah.
upset. And you're because the brain is a storytelling machine, right? And so the friend goes by and you're already telling yourself stories. Oh, they're a jerk. They're angry at me. They're
And then what usually I see as a counselor is then they go to another friend.
oh
Why
yeah,
said
uh-huh.
that? And then it turns into drama. You're talking about me to this other person. So then it just continues because they avoided going to the person directly or just,
Yep.
finding out what's going on. They're not seeing everything. They're
Hmm.
thinking what they're feeling. I guess they're not thinking with the upstairs part of their brain. They're acting off of emotion, and then that's what's creating the drama because now people are involved. You're getting more people involved to validate why you're feeling the way you're feeling. So
I can see this poster being used, in all schools. I mean, really, if there's a, if this would be a great session for you to show this poster, and it sounds like you've done a number of other posters also to go to one of the education conferences and just show off your posters. I think everybody would love them. This is great.
thank you.
So thank you. Okay. So as you can tell, it's fun, and we need another person to volunteer. So who's willing to unmute? I've seen a lot of these, and they're all great. So,
I'd be willing to share. Are you able by
okay.
chance to pull it up on your end?
I think so. So
Okay.
let me just see if I can find it. There it is. Right. So you have two. I mean, you have well, you have big, big, medium, small, right?
Yep.
And it looks like there's a couple
It
different links
accidentally
to it.
linked it twice.
Okay.
And I
Uh,
tried to erase one of them, but then it wouldn't let me erase one.
okay. So I think I have it. So this is it, right? And then I think
Yeah.
they get bigger. So
It copied weird when other people open it, but for some reason when I open it on mine it was fine. But anyways, so I teach technically K through second behavior sped, but I have no kinders this year and I only have one first grader, so I'm heavy on second grade. And I really wanted to dive into big, medium, and small. We've worked really hard with SEL, even though I teach general education for these students that I work with. We're heavy on behavior type scenarios, so
mhm.
SEL is huge in my room. And so yeah, I just wanted to dive more into that. So some examples of like it shows in the image, a small problem would be breaking your pencil, which, at the beginning of the year, I saw more so of like really heightened dramatic escalations just from a broken pencil. And we're nearing, now the end of the year, and that's no longer such a huge problem from these repeated SEL lessons and things. And then the medium problem example was there's a storm and electricity and school goes out. That's something a little bit more that would be concerning. And then a big problem, someone bit or hit you, obviously that causes physical injury, which we've also seen multiple times in my classroom this year.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
there's times to have a dramatic and heightened response to things, and then there's times when not. There's been scenarios of like someone stole my toy, and then the response at the beginning of the year was I'm gonna jump up and down on tables and rip people's things and destroy the room. Um, and again, through like this process and breaking it down into smaller steps and being more level-headed, again from a more so like first and second grader mindset, right? So it's being able to use these terms with them and put it in smaller and better understanding scenarios, for them to understand it. And then I also just included some calm down strategies as well that is talked about daily in my class, like deep breath, drinking water, asking for help, reading a book, and going on a walk. Each one of my students kind of has their selected couple favorites. And so, the classroom and my staff and I are aware of that. And so we make sure that, you know, if they need a break or even before they need a break to try and get ahead of the game to avoid an escalation, we're able to help out in those areas. So, yeah, that was basically so. And then yeah, the bottom one there just explains further the small, medium, and big, kind of what I already talked
Oh, I
about,
like,
just
yeah.
choosing accordingly of how you respond to things based off the problem. So
Yeah, I think that for a first or second grader, having them have this knowledge, small problem, medium problem, big problem, or having heard the vocabulary, it obviously gives you as the teacher something to anchor to be able to co-regulate with them, and eventually, hopefully they learn to co-regulate themselves. And by framing it this way, you're giving them a chance to reframe whatever they're thinking of, and all these mechanisms for calming themselves down so that they can be resourceful. And then the summary at the bottom is really complete. And then I'm sure that there's a way that we'll be able to like take these strategies here, because somehow or other I'm not being able to move them. I can rotate them, but which I didn't really want to do. Uh, but I
yeah, like
can't
I was
move
saying,
them.
when I
Oops.
put the link in, it worked out fine for me and it pulls up as it should on my end, but for some reason when others click the link it shows up like that, so I'm not
Right.
sure
And now I
how to
just
get that fixed.
somehow or other, um, I don't know, somehow or other it's not moving for me. But there must be a way that we can figure that out, because the poster itself is really cool, and these are really
Yeah,
good actions. So
thanks.
yeah, you really included, you really took the ability to problem solve, and you kind of related it to the way first and second graders um, would act.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you. I think this will be a good resource for people. Okay. All right. So who would like to share next? Doon, 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 doon,
I,
doon. Okay. Caitlin?
yes.
Okay. So let me make you a co-host. Okay, and see if you can share.
Gonna see if I'm able to.
Oh, something, I'm still sharing here. So sorry about that. Um,
It will let me. I'm on my phone.
oh, if you're on your phone, that's probably more difficult. So if you want, I can share.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Um, okay. And so let me just make this larger so people can see it. Is that large enough for people, or should I do one more? Here, I'll do one more. Okay.
So I'm a speech language pathologist. I treat kindergarten all the way up to seventh grade. So a lot of my resources are kind of tailored to a couple grades, and then I'll try to differentiate it all the way up if I can. But I was thinking back to an earlier session that focused on using simulations as a way to test, probing some of the solutions when we look at problem solving. Being in the profession that I am, a lot of my students are diagnosed with autism, present with expressive language delays where they're unable to share what they're thinking, as well as pragmatic language delays. Social language is difficult for them. So I created these almost like problem solving acted out cards, if you will. We do a lot of acting it out in my room. It's a language rich activity. And by doing so, we naturally follow the OODA loop, right? They're, kind of observing and looking and changing their perspectives to how others may feel while starting to decide what was a good choice, a bad choice, before they then go and act on it in the real world. And so if we scroll through the cards, specifically this set would be tailored more towards a kindergarten or first grade group with very simplistic problems because a lot of my students are, black and white thinkers, if you will. So if we can reduce the complexity of the problem, then kind of carrying it over into their real life will be a little bit easier. For when we're practicing on these skills. So essentially they would draw one of these blue cards. That would be the problem that child and the group would act out. And then we would take 2 to 3 of the solution cards, which are the green cards. Now, some of them are good solutions. Some of them are not so great. And so, we would then take a turn. Okay, this is the first solution we're going to act out. Now we're promoting verbal language, whether they're using a device, they're able to choose icons to communicate through a speech generating device. And, then after each, we would go ahead and rate. Was it something that worked? Give a thumbs up. Was it not so great? A little unsure, kind of, 2 hands in the air, or it just did not work. Pushing someone down until they leave you alone is not a good idea. And then where my groups have maybe 3 or 4 kids with some of those higher order skills, as we hit first to second grade at times, someone might be able to pull a purple card, which would add kind of a twist of now someone's going to say, no, that's not what I want. Or, well, maybe later, just leave me alone for now. So kind of teaching them that we can try as hard as we want in social situations to solve and, remediate what's going on. But at times other people just may not be available for conversation or, readily using their own personal pragmatic skills. So I thought that this was a nice activity that, really bridges the gap between what I do day to day with my students while, honing in on some of those problem solving skills.
Hmm.
And then I thought for students who are able to go up to that next step, I added like a little worksheet at the bottom of kind of drawing it out, writing what the solution was, maybe the verbal language that they use, their words, and then kind of rating it more formally with a thumbs up and kind of worked, kind of didn't, or a, thumbs down definitely didn't work. It pairs well with something we naturally do in my room, which are those simulations, those acted out activities.
Yep.
But, yep.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you chose to use you know something different because nobody ever chooses simulations and use the card game is a great way of having kids test things out in an environment where it's low stress, low risk. And so, having them with these types of problems that they happen to do every day and prepares them, you're preloading them with different things that they could do. And then, you know, it's kind of funny when it's got to be funny when they choose one of these things that are inappropriate and they get to play at an inappropriate behavior. But of course, nobody gets hurt because it's just a game. But they love doing it, and they can kind of understand what a kind of they can understand what the consequences are of doing something that's inappropriate, and they get to try like 2 or 3 different things or 4. So some of them are appropriate, some of them are inappropriate, some of them work better, some of them don't work as well. And then having the twist in there really does bring up the OODA loop, the loop part of the OODA loop, because you can do something that's perfectly, you know, it just seems like a perfectly logical thing to do. And you get some weird result. And so you have these twist results. And so they understand that just because they do something doesn't mean that they're going to get the exact result that they expected, but they can be prepared because they can come up with the next thing that they could do. And then for the ones that are capable of it, you have them do reflection, and that's such a key part of learning. So you've pulled in all these elements. It's pretty masterful. So yeah,
Thank you.
great.
Yeah, say one of the fun things in my room is we'll focus on, for a lot of children that have autism, tone of voice is difficult.
Hmm.
So it's a really fun way to say, okay, you need to use your mean voice, your or your annoyed voice.
Right.
Leave it already. So you got a lot of the social elements, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. So, who else unmuted? Because I heard somebody, Kevin. I guess you unmuted.
Yeah, me. Here's why I like this. When you're in a classroom and you're working with kids and you're waiting for situations to present themselves so that you can offer some of these strategies, it could take 10 years for these things to, when you go through a game like this or go through scenario-based role play, you can rehearse this, in a very short time, and then kids can apply it. So there's a lot of utility here. I think board games and scenario-based games or approaches are beautiful because they really let you compress a lot of potential experience in a very short period of time. So, nice job.
Yeah, I actually think this, when you're doing this, I was thinking this is the type of thing that Celestino would do, right? Celestino, like it's right up your alley.
Yes, yes, this is the kind of work and kind of situations that I do every day with my students. Not even in the university, but also to the youngers, and defy them to critical thinking about the situations they are doing during the learning process. You know, they have to talk, they have to think about what are experimented, and share these situations between them. And of course we are there for help them and to and to orient them in these particular situations. But
So
the main focus is the student. They are the main actors in the learning process they are facing every day.
wonderful. And Barbara said, she could use this also with her speech friends too. So yeah, really good. Okay, uh, ready for next presentation? Who's willing to share? Because I know these lesson plans are great. So please, somebody unmute.
I'll share.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Mhm.
So, do you want to I'll make you co-host,
I,
or do you want
okay.
me to try to share?
Yeah, if you can share, that would be great, please.
Okay. Sure. So let me just find it.
Yeah, I can start
And
talking before you share if you don't mind. Or you want me to wait?
sure. Yeah. No.
Okay.
Okay. So here, and I'll shut up and you can talk, but here it
Okay. So hi, my name is Berlene. So I do work in early childhood with in preschool ages 3 to 5. So I work with in special ed. So I usually I have about 32 on my caseload. So I get 3 groups per week. So the the lesson plan that I chose to do or to talk about is something I did last week. I actually use AI to help me create it. So I can think of OODA loop as I did it. And I have 3 para ed and 2 SLPs. So this class has helped me quite a bit in making like the activities, I guess more intentional. So although I used to do these things, I didn't realize I could do more with them and how much of an impact it could make in my students' behavior, language development, and social and emotional. So this lesson we started with, um, so I plan ahead, just to let you know. So even the job that I put in my lesson plan ahead of time, I'll have the pair ed, or I talk with the office staff to sometime place items in my mailbox. So when a student is having a meltdown or needing a movement break, I will tell them to go do a job. But there would be something actually in my mailbox for them to retrieve and bring it back to the classroom. And usually they come back with with a better, with a, with better self-regulation. So anyway, so I started with, so also do tabletop in the beginning. So instead of having them play with regular toys, I had a sensory table available with miniature animals. They can do sorting and all other type of activities. We also put grass in there just to make it feel more natural or more real. Um, oh,
Yeah, I think we
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the wrong lesson. I'm sorry, Mitch.
Did I do the wrong lesson?
yeah, we
Yeah,
haven't
sorry.
really not stopped there.
Oh, what did I?
Uh,
Okay, sorry about that.
oh, no problem.
So
So
what are oh,
mine is
okay. Yep,
about animals and their habitats.
this is
So
it,
yep,
right?
there it is. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for noticing that, Kimberly. So so we started with and they also get their movement breaks in the beginning. So they play there for probably about 20 minutes, and then we move over to circle area where we do our morning meeting or whole group meeting. Yeah, you can go down. Yep, engage. Yep, right here. So it says about 5 to 7 minutes. Sometimes it goes longer. So there I will have on my screen. It wasn't the same exact picture, but I had on the active panel pictures of different animals. And then I have about 10 or 11 at a time students, or sometime up to 14, depending on the day. So I'll ask them, hey, what do you see on the screen? And then they have to use complete sentences to say, I see. And then they can talk about the color, or, hey, have you ever seen a pet like this at the zoo? Or have you ever been on vacation where you see those type of animals? So and then they start thinking and it gets them talking. So the next part is after they think about it, I will prompt them to uh, talk about where the animal would live, how they move, what do they do, what do they think they eat. So and then they love taking turns. So we talk about it. That usually take about 15, 20 minutes. And then sometime we read a story about the topic. Sometime I go on Epic, or sometime I have the book. My DD kids are very low, so sometimes I do have to use. Sometimes they want to hear a different voice, so I sometimes use YouTube, or I go Safari Montage. We have a very nice library where we can go and look for videos or books. So I usually have the real book in my hand, and then they're listening to it. Um, and then after that, after we read the story, we take about 10-ish minutes at the circle area. Then before we move on to the next activity, we do a movement song. So the movement song could be something that has to do with the theme. It could be, for example, like today we did Denny Go hot and cold, because we were talking about the four seasons. Um, and then so that's how the Orient just figure out, hey, what are we gonna do next? So we move after we finish that part, then we go over to work time. So that's where they really have to focus. They have to make a choice. Well, I'm sorry. So also before we go, we usually do an interactive activity. It could be a matching activity, it could be sorting, but we usually keep it, I go according to the theme. So, and then we make a choice by going over to our area for work. So sometimes we have a friend who does a lot of work avoidance. He does not like to work. So that's when I usually send him on the job. So when I'm sending to go retrieve the item from my mailbox or go pick up something from the SLP or for the OT, and the pair educators are usually on board. They know ahead of time. And then as they go with him, they have a chat. Hey, what is going on? How was your morning? They figure out what is going on. How are you feeling? Okay, and then on their way back, they tell him, hey, it's time for work. Usually, he doesn't work. He doesn't like to do the work. Well, that's when we say, hey, you have the choice. You can do the work now or during playtime. So playtime is usually at the end of our session, for that reason. So that's its makeup. So usually he chooses to do it, and sometime when he doesn't too, then he has to do it during playtime. So that's his decision, and we let him stay with that. And sometime, as on the walk, we figure out, hey, yeah, he didn't have a good morning, or one time he wasn't feeling well. Well, we couldn't really tell because, sometimes the class is kind of too noisy, too busy. So that one-on-one helps him quite a bit. It helps him, and it helps us too. So, and then uh,
And do I
last
have the right, am I on the right page right now?
Yeah, you can stay
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. And then, so, oh, I think I got my pages mixed up, but I'm sorry. But yeah, we're on the right path. So, and then after the walk, he comes back and we do the work. That's when he decides. So he decides to do the work, and then we work. Usually we figure out, hey, did they understand the lesson? Um, did they get the vocabulary? Did we get, did we did they meet what did I meet? I also have a chance to think, hey, did I really deliver what I wanted to deliver to them? And then I think I think that's where I'm at. And then also, as we do that, if kids finish early, we have a game we usually play where they can walk around and sort. Um, they sometimes, like last week, we did animal sorting. So they also practice how the animals move. Um, I think, yeah, that's the game we played. And then they they each get probably three animals. They can move around the room, or sometime we pick four students. One would be the animal, one would be birds, one would be the insect, and those boxes are separately. One would be marine or fish or wherever they live, and then they would walk around and place the animal where the animal should be. Last week. Today we did, I'm just going off topic for a little bit. So today we did the four seasons. So instead of, we placed each season at a table and they got to walk around and just place things we would do in the spring, things we would do in the summer, like Halloween would be in the fall. So they would find a table that is for the fall season so they can move because they do need to move around. So, and then you can move up. And then also during playtime, like I mentioned, they have the chance to go and they can draw an animal in their habitat, or they can make a scene in the jungle. We give them that option during playtime. And then as they are playing, we also talk about, hey, what do you notice about where your animals live? So it's like the whole, because we get them for 2.5 hours. So we have to input or we have to insert the skills however we can in order to for them to make progress. So I think that's about it. Yeah, and then we get to differentiate the instruction. And then also the most important part too is training the parents, helping them understand why we do things. It's not, we don't do it just because. The breaks are not because I want to give little Johnny free time, but it's because that's what he's needing in order for him to succeed.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then we have kids that use different mode of communication. Some of them has to use their AAC. So ahead of time, my SLP helps me put some of the vocabulary words in the stories in their AAC so they can participate during the lessons. I think that's about it. Sorry, I went all over the place. I get nervous. I don't do well with adults
I,
with presenting. Yeah.
Well,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
the opportunity.
No, because
Great job.
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting how you've really adopted the material to all to so different from the people that we're teaching, because we're teaching, you guys are highly functional adults, and you took this and you applied it to kids at a very, very basic level, and have them observing things, figuring things out, going back to observe again, and then and deciding what to do, acting, seeing if the results are what they should be, and so instead of getting upset, kind of always um, looking at it as like, okay, so I did this, and oh no, that didn't give me the results that I wanted, or this wasn't the right answer, so let me observe again and let me orient again, and getting them concentrating on different ways of looking at things, so they're not just looking at the whole picture, they're looking at this element of it, and then that element, and then that element. So it's very complete.
Thanks.
Yeah, Jane, you were going to say something? Did I?
I was just gonna say that I always think it's funny I find a lot of elementary teachers, we struggle with adults. And I can definitely relate to that. But you did an amazing job. Couldn't ask
Yeah,
for more. So
brilliant.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for sharing.
Thank you for being willing to share.
Thanks.
All right. And who's next? Come on, because there's some great lessons and lesson plans and songs and posters.
Okay, well, this is lucky number 10, so somebody should go.
Please.
Okay, I was gonna chicken out, but
Yeah, thank you, Thea. Okay. So let me see if I can find you. There you are. And so let me.
and mine really doesn't have much to look at. Mine's just a little bit, I guess, it's kind of boring in comparison to what we've
I
been
didn't think
saying.
I didn't think it was boring.
I I kind of took this class because I own a Montessori school. I'm now the head of school. I used to just be a one-man show directing it. We've grown quite a bit over COVID. We even expanded again. And so now I've brought on an administration team to help my stress level. And so as I'm kind of looking at the other end of it and learning the art of delegation and teamwork, and I've been out of the classroom for a while. I just really teach very part-time, some specialists like Spanish and PE for our school. But now I'm kind of turning over some jobs that I used to do to an office manager and a new school director who I have known for a long time. We have a Montessori school, so all of these like thought processes are something that we would do with our students. And I realize we have a lot of pathways in teaching children how to problem solve and make effective decisions and become intrinsically motivated and not fear failure, and how to resolve conflicts peacefully without adult intervention. But what I was realizing that the stressful part was I was feeling a lot of stress as an administrator and not having a real framework or a pathway for helping. I'm trying to look for a pathway that would help reduce stress for my admin, because now I'm seeing that my stress now, I'm seeing my director and my office manager kind of expressing some of those same angsts. And I thought, well, this might be a really positive opportunity for me to learn a way where maybe we can objectify our strategy a little bit, and we can start to think through some thought processes with ourselves and how we tackle problem solving. Because I think probably 90% of our job is tackling all the problems that come across the office door on a daily basis. And that starts, for us at like 4:35 in the morning when staff start calling out sick for the day and we have to think really quick and get a replacement in. And we're a private school, so we don't have a sub pool that we call. So one of us has to reshift our entire day and jump in and potentially be in any one of our classrooms that are from 18 months to 6th grade. So it can be a real challenge if you don't even know where you're going to be subbing, and then who's going to do the things that you had set up to do for the day already. So I just thought if we looked at some of the things that we've been working on in this, that I really felt like I learned a lot from. I don't know if toward the beginning, I don't know if you remember, but I was having a really overwhelming, stressful week, and a lot of staff conflict and some drama and negative water cooler talk and teachers that were worried about maybe not having contracts for the following year because there had been some angst during the school year and just a lot of emotions swirling around. And I was feeling the toll of it. And I thought, okay, let me really analyze what we're learning in this class and how can I create something that might be helpful for school administrators trying to kind of maneuver through the same difficulties and stressful situations that we tackle every day. So I just started with just bringing up, just basically reintroducing just the framework.
I can share. Do you want me to share it on the screen?
You can feel like I love my super long, long-winded run-on sentence as my setup. I just reread it and I was like, oh, okay, I should have probably polished that up. But yeah, sure, go ahead and put it in. It's just like bullet pointed. But just really starting with learning how to identify situations. We have best practice at our school, so some things are very quick and an easy solution to solve. Something as simple as there's a toilet that's clogged, that falls on our shoulders here as well, all the way down to...
By the way, that would not be a simple problem for me. I have messed up more plumbing by trying to solve it. But for some people, it's simple.
Yeah, it could be complex too when it's the same toilet that gets clogged by a particular really young preschool class every day. Then we're like, okay, is this a toilet problem? Is this a plumbing problem? Do we need to teach them how to use less toilet paper? Do we need better supervision from the teachers because they're still potty training? It's all of those things. So yeah, maybe that wasn't my best example, but
no, it was a great example. I was being, I have messed up so many simple problems like that, like a dripping faucet but yes.
Those are the daily things that I think are manageable to achieve during the course of the day. Those little ones that come in, maybe we need to call a student's family, they have a temperature and we have a policy that we can enact. And so it's a really simple, straightforward decision, easy to make, right? Or someone hits their head. Our protocol here is we would call whether they need to leave or need an ice pack, or we feel they may have a concussion, we call regardless, just as a safety person, just our safety protocol. So those are the ones that I feel like I can offload to the office manager. If my director's here, any one of us could take those and they would be simple, but they can sometimes become time consuming when you have several in a day. And then at the same time, then you have more complicated problems coming through. And all of these might happen on any given day. And so learning how to decipher, is this a problem that needs a solution right now, or is giving ourselves time to breathe and process and meet collectively as a group, ask questions, reflect, try something, it doesn't work, we try something again, and that's okay. I don't want my admin team feeling like they failed if they came up with a suggestion that we tried and it didn't work. We just revamp and try again. Trying to reduce a little bit of the subjectivity and the personal attachment that we have to each of these problems and stand out a little bit more, while being more analytical, but being a little bit removed from that process when you're doing the orienting and all of, going through using OODA loops, which is the second part of this. So once we determine what the problem is, then I kind of went into talking about ways that if they are complex or complicated problems, techniques that we could use that maybe we haven't thought of before because we've never really formalized a plan for how this thought process would work in making a decision effectively, that would hopefully then achieve our best practice that's really non-established, right? Because these are things that we don't have best practice for, these kind of gray areas. Lots of issues with, like, I was hoping these would be systems that we could put in place when we, we're having inner staff, drama. Like there's an assistant teacher and a teacher that maybe are not seeing eye to eye and they need some conflict mediation. Or maybe we have a teacher that's just really not buying into one aspect of our school culture. Maybe they're a new employee with us and we're really trying to educate that teacher on, here's why, the why behind it, almost like we're defending our school culture, but then also being willing to accept and hear new information and new thoughts. And maybe this teacher worked at a different school that had a different plan. And okay, well, let's hear about that. And are there changes that we're willing to implement? So just more of these meetings that would take more time and more energy and more thought to come up with a viable solution. And that process is going to be ongoing. And instead of us sitting in our homes at night with like the emotion turning and I know we all talk about it, all three of us collectively, that, oh, like last night I was up all night trying to problem solve this. And how can we move away from that and be able to do it in a meeting together where we can make real progress and just have some different options and pathways. So I found this course really helpful in that respect, just really trying to bring it back to how can it make my administrative team stronger, and how can I empower my new members of my team to feel like they have a really important and necessary voice in that thought process, instead of me trying to tackle it all myself and then just letting them know my decision and why, but really giving them an opportunity to express their perspectives as well and feel that empowerment, which will then help them to become more effective leaders when I'm hopefully gone. So I'm at this like stage where I'm maybe shifting power over as a way to like decrease my role, and just so that I can kind of balance my own life a little bit. And in that process, there's just all these changes, and how this is hopefully going to create a really positive change in how we think about and address problems on a daily basis that are ongoing. And so that's just the gist of what all this writing is about, is just kind of taking what I learned from you guys, the experts, and trying to rationalize it and make it seem applicable to what's going on in my situation. And it's really helped. I feel like in the last couple of weeks, I've just felt a little calmer, and I've been questioning more instead of telling and educating, like more so, well, tell me about that. What are you thinking about that? Or what are your thoughts on why do you think she said, reacted that way? Instead of saying, okay, well, that's not appropriate. We have to have it meet. Just giving myself the ability to kind of step back a little bit and learn some new techniques in how to resolve conflicts in a more, I guess, objective way.
Wow. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, Mitch, go ahead. I'll go after you.
I was just going to say that what you put together is a great way of leading discussions on these different methods of problem solving. And so, I think that, in any school, if you're part of a PLC or you're part of administration, you could take this, bring together teachers or other administrators, and just go through and okay, so here's here's the framework, let's talk about simple problems and get some discussion going on them, and then what are some complicated problems, and what's the difference between solving them, and then what are complex problems and what are chaotic problems, and you talk about the different ways of solving them, and then you go through different examples. Your document really sets up that learning. So I think you've organized it really, really well.
My hope was that if we can create like a framework, like maybe even taking it one step further, and I didn't put this in here, but like even establishing a protocol where if it's a simple problem, then one admin can tackle that on their own. They don't have to get input from anyone else. But if it's a complicated problem, maybe it requires a connective meeting, like we would handle a student issue, where we call them village meetings, where we get everybody that's involved in that child's life together, and we ask questions and we learn about what's happening in the classroom, what's happening at home. And this way we'd be able to give different perspectives and kind of bounce ideas off of each other, kind of in that iteration process. But I think that for now, it's a slower process, right? Because we're just starting to kind of tackle this new, just structure for, of, creating some type of a problem solving method. And my hope is that the more we do it, the quicker we'll get at it. And some of these problems that are so subjective, we can start coming up with like just even an action more quickly than we would have come up before. Because sometimes we labor over some of these decisions. Like I even used in my example of like I think it was a complicated or a complex problem was like a snow day. Okay, so public school. So we're a private school. We live, we're in a town. So there's a public school, school district in our town. And then we have two of them within like 10 minutes of our school as well. So a snow day you think is a very easy, simple problem, but a snow day takes me hours and hours to deliberate over. Sometimes I get up at like 3 a.m. if it does. We're in Washington State. So maybe the snow comes in the middle of the night and it's gone by noon, right? So it's not usually something, and no one here knows how to drive in it. So I'm, kind of just north of Seattle area. So it really does shut down, like it shuts things down when it comes, and it barely comes. So that is like my husband's out driving. My husband's my business partner. He's out driving the roads, all the side streets. There's like hilly areas. So then we usually follow protocol for the public schools, but sometimes they close just because they can't get their school buses to all the outlying areas. So might not be snow in town where our school's located. And then we have to determine, well, how many of our staff members can get here? Do we have enough staff that if there were students present in every class, we could man every class? It's just like a huge, and I have to make that decision by 6 a.m. Right. So then those are really stressful, like complicated situations for me. And you have to think quick, right? So I want to be able to make sure that when I'm no longer making those decisions, that the team that I have in place making those for me has training in that area where and I don't know if that's
I was gonna say the hardest thing is to transition from a place of power to like delegation. And it really kind of difficult when you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, but you still want that control, right? It kind of comes down to like that control, and like you started this, it's your heart and all those things. And so I kind of commend you, and I really liked this, is that it took away the burden on you, and it took away the burden of having to like be the manager of these little conversations and situations. And in that way, like it's a very usable document for many different situations and in different classes and cultures and stuff. So I really appreciated it for that, because it's not easy walking away.
It's not. Like, and this class came at the perfect time in my life. I was like kicking and screaming at the beginning. I was like, no. This is going to require me to actually think. Like, I just want an easy class where like I look at nutrition guides or something. Right? Like,
oh, we're super easy, right?
So I'm like, oh no, I'm going to have to go really deep on this one and then I realized this is exactly the type of class that I need right now, because my mindset is completely shifting right now. Wow. And it's going to impact this entire school. And this was really helpful for me to start thinking about this more analytically in the thought process, and how I can, how as an administration we can start looking at things differently is going to hopefully really help this school carry on its legacy well beyond my time.
And you can just tell why
very
you're
well done. Thank you.
So,
That was
Great. Thank you. Okay, let's get one more person.
It's a beautiful place. Yes. I definitely all in. Yeah.
Okay, can we have one more person share? One more person. You can do it. It's fun. You have an appreciative audience.
You can do it. It's funny. I feel like I can hear the collective thoughts of, I'm just going to wait to see who does it.
Not me. Oh, come on. One person. Because after you go, everybody gets off.
I got permission to share Natalie Herman's if you would like
Okay.
to put that up for her.
Okay. Yes.
Are you able to share that,
Well,
Mitch? I can share it for her.
so I'm trying to. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the connection here. Because it's not loading. Let me try one more time.
Here, I can.
Try one more time.
Hold on, Mitch. I might be able to share
Okay.
it. Let me see. I got it.
Okay. Yeah, mine's not loading.
Can you all see that?
Not yet.
Can you guys see my screen?
Okay. Yep. Yes.
We got it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is Miss Herman. She is a second grade teacher at the school that I work at, and she wanted to create a diagram that is easy for her students to put up on her wall. So thinking first, second grade. And she wanted to describe the OODA loop in kid-friendly terms. And this is actually something that we're getting printed out and putting on walls. So it's kind of fun. But observe, look around, what do you notice, orient, think about what's happening, what do you do or already know, and then decide to make a choice and what you should do, and then act, do it, and test your plan. And keep going, learn to try again. This was just a very simple, easy poster that she made to put on the walls at our elementary school. So I hope you all find it useful.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool way
And that's what I got. I think Mitch may
together.
have frozen.
Can you hear me now? Or am I still frozen?
Okay.
I'm back.
Sorry, Mitch, you are frozen solid.
You're cutting in and out. We can kind of hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, well, since Mitch is kind of in and out, I guess I'll help us along here. Are there any questions? Still cutting out, Mitch.
Am I still frozen or am I out? I guess I'm still
I
frozen.
have a comment.
Sure.
I'm so glad I'm not driving now because every other time that I was trying to participate, I was driving. No. Oh, yes, no. Okay. Should I go?
Yes.
Okay. So what I wanted to share with you is the idea of being the fragility. I forgot the exact name, just slipped on my head. But it's so interesting to me because sometimes adults, the guys that need of control with trying to say that, like, oh, but that's the way it is, or that's the way we do things here, or that's not right. And I just love the last presentation because that's what she was saying, right? Oh, this is a problem, we need to fix it. So it is so valid to say, no, things could be that way, yes, but that's for scenarios where you probably don't have the option to be like a human, like think about it, like take the time. And I very much appreciate the idea of giving me or other people permission to be more thoughtful about decisions and situations instead of this is what the book says. This is like, and I'm saying this because I went from working in a private school with 400 students to a public high school of 1,600. So I just see the difference on having so many students that would make people make decisions for protection. And I don't want to work towards I'm protecting myself other than I want to do the right thing for my people and my students. So that's, I think, one of my biggest takeaways from this class. And I really appreciate it. Thank you.
No, great point.
Can I
Thank
just
you,
share with
Susie.
you? One of my very best friends, her name is Mandy Manning. She was 2018 Teacher of the Year. And one of the things she said to me that resonates with me, all rules are arbitrary. All rules are arbitrary. Somebody made them up somewhere, but that doesn't mean anything.
I love that.
I do too, and I use it frequently, especially when I hear exactly what you're talking about. We've always done it that way.
Yeah. Can I use it too?
Say it again.
Can I use it too?
Oh, yes. Mandy shares widely. She doesn't like, yes.
Yeah, because that is just a way to guard your fears too, right? And makes us less human or less committed, as long as, oh, I did what I needed to do instead of a little more.
Exactly. Okay, thank you for letting me interrupt.
Okay. So so thank you all for joining us and for this course. I really I love the lesson plans. I love the lesson plans that didn't share, and I really thank everybody who shared, and I love what you shared. Um, if we'll be offering these courses again in the fall, and if any of you want to like keep in touch, if you want like a weekly tip, we have a weekly newsletter. If you just go to mindshiftingwithmitch.com, there's a sign up form for the weekly newsletter on weekly tips, or reach out to us. And thank you all for joining us. And it was great interacting with you over the last couple months. So have a wonderful summer and an easy end of school year, everybody.
Thank you. Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
These
Thank
are
you so
these
much,
are
you guys.
the best hours
Thank
of the
you.
of PD. Best earn hours. Really, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Do you only have
Mitch,
the 3
Okay.
classes? Are there
Right,
any
there's
more?
right now there's only 3 classes, and there will be 3 books. And we do have like a fourth class that's more geared towards organizations. Um, and actually, so this summer we're going to be offering also like it's only going to be a 2 hour class, but how to lead discussions within your school on mind shifting topics so that people can get kind of quick bulk bursts about mind shifting. So
Okay.
if you do go onto the newsletter, you'll hear about it.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you
Okay.
so much,
All right,
guys.
Barbara. Yeah, thank you.
I will definitely check that one out.
Okay.
Bye,
Oh,
guys.
good.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Bye.
I appreciate you all.
and Mitch, there was a question about credit hours. Somebody wrote in the chat. So if you just want to
Well,
make a broad
I
statement.
think that we decided that this course we're not going to give credit hours, right? Isn't that what we decided?
Mitch, just tell them about how long are we going to leave it open for them to get lessons in?
A week.
A week, and then
Right.
we just tell Nicole.
And then in Washington, I put it together, and then in Washington, I send it off to the ESD. I send it off to Nicole,
Right.
and in New
Nicole
York, I
Lindsay,
send it
yeah.
off to the New York State Teacher Centers, and then the ESD gets in touch with the Washington teachers, and the New York State Teacher Centers gets in touch with the New York teachers.
Excellent, because I know Nicole is just like spot on to get them their clock hours quickly.
She's great. She's great.
Especially because some people's will expire in June. Not that anyone waits till the last minute.
No,
But
I've never done that and lost my
No.
credit hours. That's totally not something I would do.
Well, let me tell you, the state of Washington, if you lose your certificate, they used to make you wait 10 years.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It was very punitive. Yes.
Oh, ugly.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was on the board when we changed that.
Good for you. Thank you.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I sent you, I shared my lesson to you, Mitch.
Yes, I put it up on the spreadsheet.
Okay. I was going to put it on the spreadsheet. I just wanted to, like, I turn it in.
We got it.
You have an extra week anyhow, but yes, I put it on the spreadsheet for you. I may not, I'm looking at it. I did not, I didn't have your school in front of me. So if you go to the spreadsheet and you can fill in the information,
Okay.
and I gave my own description, but you'll come up with a better description. But I figured you sent it to me because you needed it on spreadsheet, so I just put it up there for you.
Oh, I sent it to you because I want to make sure it got to you on time.
Okay. Ah, okay.
So I wouldn't be delinquent again. But yes, okay. So I'll finish spreadsheet, and then I will finish number 4.
Okay. Yeah,
And then,
and that's why we give you guys extra time because you have real world stuff. You're dealing with students, dealing with families. It's okay.
it's like the first week procrastinating a little bit. Next week, the world hit, and
Right.
then all right, there we go.
Right.
Do it now, don't procrastinate. But anyhow, I've appreciated all of these courses. I eat them up. I'm so grateful for what you guys have offered to us. I'm contemplating actually taking them next year. Maybe pull in some more of my peers with me. I've been sharing it with them. So
Free, you should do that.
And we could use instructors too.
I don't know if I might be chicken still, but
Okay.
And then ordering the book, and yeah, so I'm eating this stuff up. So I highly appreciate you guys being braver than me doing this.
Well, thank you.
Well, we appreciate you for showing
Yeah.
up. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
participating.
You're welcome. I was like, I had the appointment last Wednesday, and she goes, "Well, I'm canceling you." I'm like, "What? Do that?" Well, next Tuesday at 4. I'm like, "No." When's the next one? July. What? I'm going to be in Japan. Okay, fine.
Wow. You're going to be in Japan?
I'm going to be in Japan. My
Wow.
son is a electrical engineer, and his work is able to send him to Japan with his whole family. So usually it's January.